For most companies, the core of the HR solution is going to be what we call personnel administration. So that's a glorified HR filing cabinet, all the employee records. And then the administrative functions that almost every business has to do. So you've got to pay people, so you need payroll. And for most organisations, you want to capture their time. And whether that's timesheets or whether you've got people clocking in and out because they work in a shop floor environment. So those are a few examples, but an example that everybody knows is holiday, booking leave, booking annual leave. So those key areas, the employee records, the time and the payroll, really for most customers are the core of their HR solution. So unsurprisingly at Rock, we do a lot of implementations of those, and we have done over the years a large number of implementations of those. One of the interesting challenges is that, particularly if you look at something like payroll, the reality is that perhaps unlike other areas of HR, there's a right answer. And the right answer is paying people right at the right time according to your business policies. So from a certain perspective, in terms of an implementation and in terms of a project, it's one where it's very easy to know that you've got it right or you've got it wrong. Your customer will be very, very focused, and ourselves will be very focused as well on making sure that you're delivering on time and that you're getting it right. Now, there's two kind of interesting technical aspects. One is how do you manage risk around something like that? Okay, so the biggest fear of a customer in a payroll implementation is that they can't pay people right. Okay, that's going to cause all kinds of problems. So you manage that by having the right kind of methodology. So there are various things built into the technology, like the idea of doing parallel testing, by having the old solution and the new solution working in parallel for a number of periods so that you can be doubly sure that everything's right. So there are elements built into the methodology that make it feasible and safe. The other thing is relying on having consultants, as Rock does, who have the required technical expertise, because it's one of those areas where, whilst there are legal and statutory elements to payroll, the reality is that any customer can pay people beyond that in lots of different ways. There are a myriad of different variations. In fact, there's no kind of real constraints. So the solution, the SAP solution, is very flexible, but the usual trade-off applies. The usual trade-off is, if you've got flexibility, you've got complexity. And that means that the technical skills of the consultant delivering it are vitally important. It's not an area where you can bluff your way through. It's an area where precise attention to detail and technical expertise are really, really important. And I think Rock's done really well in that market because we always hire very experienced consultants. We hire experienced consultants who know how to deliver that product. The design is vital because there's no point starting a complex implementation knowing half of what you need to know, because you know it's going to take 3 times as long. So you've got to know what you're going to do before you deliver it. That comes down to blueprinting, and then you've got to be able to execute, and that's all about having people with the right skills to execute.